Thank you very much for joining me on this Saturday and early update. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Ongoing flooding right now, over 125 millimeters of rain in spots of Curaçao and Bonaire and parts of Venezuela. And you see this blob moving by. This is what we talked about yesterday, actually the last couple days with the early heads up on the flooding, this tropical wave that moved by. No organization with it, but we know in the Caribbean, you don't need organization to have flooding, and that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing the flooding here. It'll be worse early in the day before this shifts across, and you see it right there grabbing your attention, the ABC Islands, northern Venezuela. We'll keep an eye on the northern end of Colombia. I'll monitor that as well. Plus, you see this cloud cover kind of streaming into our parts of Jamaica and Cuba, even the Bahamas. That was the tail end, kind of a feeder band up into what is left of Nicole. So a lot going on. You see the rain there and then more rain back here. And I'll be watching over toward parts of St. Lucia, Barbados down the road as well for an increased chance of rain. Here's the big picture. Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, little area, low pressure, not organized. Here's that tropical wave that is causing the flooding and another tropical wave that is going to eventually slide in. So the week ahead is going to be active. You'll get a flood threat and you may catch some breaks. And then later in the week, that rain threat will be picking up again. So again, a very active Atlantic. I'm not seeing any signs of a name system out there at this time, but again, watching several spots. So let's take you through it. Here is the model. 1 o'clock today. This is the area I've been watching, and you see over toward the ABC Islands, the rain, some of that kind of shifting off to the west, but there's that flare up over toward Jamaica, Cuba, and parts of the Bahamas today. So very active pattern. Now let's get you forward. I want to bring you into your Sunday. This is Sunday afternoon. Now this tropical wave that slides by is going to increase the moisture in the Western Caribbean. So Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, parts of Colombia, a higher chance of rain, and eventually this will find us in Belize, where we're still trying to recover, of course, from what happened with Lisa, and then monitoring this, more rain, more storms over toward the Atlantic, approaching the Eastern Caribbean. So this is 4 o'clock on Monday, and you see here again, very active, scattered rain and storms, Western Caribbean, just kind of active overall picture. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, some rainstorms scattered about through the ABC Islands, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. And then you see this moisture here. Some of that's going to feed our way near Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique. We'll see some rain and storms. Trinidad and Tobago, that could be picking up. And then as we get into Tuesday, let me stop the clock, Tuesday afternoon, we're flat out active throughout the week. Again, no organization, but we've got some rain and storms here. And then look at this, the next tropical wave starts to come in, and this is what we need to monitor, because if this rain starts to work into us, that is going to give us a much higher chance of flooding. But still kind of a wait and see what this blob over here does. Some indications are it may want to lift to the north. Others just kind of drive it through in our direction. So week ahead, that will be the spot excuse me, to keep a very close eye on. All right, let's get you forward. Here's the Western Caribbean as we go forward over the next few days. Tomorrow and Monday in particular, there's that wave that's moving through Aruba, Curaçao, Bonaire, parts of Venezuela now. That is going to shift toward Honduras and Belize. So Western Caribbean, that rain chance, like I just showed you in the model, is going to be picking up. Now, for the day ahead, let me take you to it again. Southern zones, better chance of rain. That's mainly early, though, as we work our way toward the ABC Islands. Little higher rain chance again through Jamaica, up through Cuba and the Bahamas. Isolated showers and storms in Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis as we go through the day. Now, here's the anticipated rain, and this was on track, unfortunately, from what I showed you yesterday. You see in this blob here, those brighter colors. Some of that is going to be on top of us this morning, especially Curaçao, Bonaire, and then working its way toward Aruba. And that's going to be some very high totals. We could get a couple spots over 150 millimeters of rain with that blob moving by. That is flooding rain. So watching here, parts of Venezuela and northern Colombia, and then we'll be watching down the road. Elsewhere, kind of scattered, a little bit higher as far as some totals go, about 50 millimeters plus, 75 millimeters plus, Trinidad and Tobago, and then I'll be watching that rain over toward the Atlantic. Seas are increasing some, wave heights increasing a couple meters as we get back through the central, Eastern Caribbean, higher over toward the Atlantic as these tropical waves moving in. So thinking of our captains and thinking of you if you're on a boat or living on a boat. So Grenada today, a 40% chance of scattered showers and storms, and it will be breezy, winds east-northeast at 32 kilometers an hour. Now Curaçao, the biggest flood threat is this morning. That's the highest threat, like I just showed you, 28 degrees Celsius today. But again, the rain, the story, please be safe, seek higher ground. if needed. And try not to, I've seen the videos, thank you for sending those. Try not to drive through flooded streets. You don't know if those streets are washed out or kind of how bumpy it is and that sort of thing. All right, let's take you through it for the named storms. Nicole, that is said and done with, bringing rain up toward the northeast United States this morning. The next name on the list is Owen, then Paula and Richard. There are some signs something could spin out far out in the Atlantic as we go through the week ahead, so I'll monitor that. But again, the ongoing flood threat, please be safe. I'll be on top of it. I'll be monitoring it for you throughout the day. I'll break in with another video if needed. Thank you for sharing this channel. Have a good rest of your day.